WSIC. News, talk, now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Justin Dionne here with your weekly dose of Know the Scene. Know the Scene, your weekly dose of finding out what's going on in the scene here in your wonderful, wonderful Lake Norman community. Here we are excited to. Bill got me some more new music today. That was great. Bill, I was holding out for a little bit. I wanted to wait till I waited to the breakdown. Like the drums worked down. I was like, now we'll come in. I like it. That's great. Yes, some little Chi-Town. You got some Chi-Town teed up? I like it. Chicago? I like it. All right. Well, welcome everybody to today's show. We got another great show for you today. But again, before we get started with our guests, gonna just do some of our usual top of show, kind of what's going on, right? What's going on? I tell you what's happening at Cain Center for the Arts this week. We have a really, really busy week this week. We're excited. We've got 2 performances Thursday and Friday of the Drifters. The Drifters are playing, going to perform for us Thursday and Friday. They are fully sold out. So sorry if you missed that, but if you got tickets, congrats, way to go on that. We also Saturday night have a great show coming out. Saturday night, Rocky Lynn, hometown guy, national hero. Rocky Lynn, great rock and roll country artist from Statesville originally. So he's a local favorite around here. He's playing Saturday night. There are tickets available for that. cainarts.org. You should go and check that out. Rocky's, and I know WSIC's been doing some ticket giveaways. So keep listening to WSIC for some ticket giveaways for that show. And come out this Saturday night and check out Rocky Lynn. Some also notable great shows coming up. Next week, actually, Cain Center is not presenting any shows, but there will be Frozen Junior. Davidson Community Players here is presenting Frozen Junior. All the kiddos are performing that for you. And those shows have really been selling. I mean, they just added a Friday performance. I think they added a Friday at 4 p.m. next Friday. That was they added it because everything else was sold out. So if you want to take your kiddos or grandkids or anything like that to go see Frozen, the junior shows are great because they're like 45 minutes to an hour long. They're short. They hit all the hits for the kids, and you can get them out and, still go. No intermission. It's a nice way to bring your kids to like their first show. And, I have a daughter myself, so I know the Disney princesses are a thing. They are quite the thing. So yeah, come check that out. Support your great local performers, kids performing in that again, and Davidson Community Players, great local organization, community theater there. And then February 3rd, we have Chi-Town Transit Authority coming, and we're going to speak today. That's who our guest is, Mr. John Seckman. We're going to speak to him in just a moment. But Chi-Town Transit Authority, a Chicago tribute band, fantastic one at that. We're going to learn all about them today. And they've been selling really well. Actually, they're getting kind of low on tickets. So if you want to come see that show, I think you should get on cainarts.org and get some tickets to that as well. Visual arts-wise, we have a great new exhibit. 2 new exhibits right now in our galleries. One is our famous homegrown exhibit, all local, like hyper-local artists in the area. And we actually added a homegrown kids this year. Where local kids have gotten the opportunity this year to submit their artwork to be put in our gallery, and that's opening next week is happening for that. And then we also have a Directors of Choice exhibit that's going to be opening soon also. So lots going on at Cain Center. We hope you guys will come by, come check it out, come see a show, come check out an exhibit, take a class, take an art class or a ceramics class. Our ceramics programs are very popular. So yeah, all right. Well, let's move into it today. We're going to be talking all about Chi-Town Transit Authority. And joining us today is Mr. John Seckman. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, John, where are you coming to us from today? Atlanta, right?
Yeah, you could call it Atlanta, more specifically Marietta.
Nice. Marietta's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. Have you been there a long time?
I've been in Atlanta all my life.
Oh,
We've
great.
been in Marietta for the last 20 years or so.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, John, welcome to the show. Thank you for zooming in with us today. We're going to talk all about you and your band and what you guys are doing and what people can expect here for the performance coming up. So John, real quickly, and before the break, we have a couple minutes before the break. Why don't you kind of just start us out real quick? Tell us about yourself and your role in Chi-Town Transit Authority.
Okay, so I'm the bass player. I started off as just bass, but then they figured out that I could sing too, so I got to add vocals. And I do some of the booking. I do a lot of the marketing for the band, and yeah, that's about it.
Man, they got you running everything, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. That's what happens when you're good at stuff, John. When you're good at one thing, they're like, "Hey, can you do this too?" And you're like, "Yeah," and you're good at that, and then they just keep adding things on, right?
Yeah, exactly. I should sandbag something, but
That's not you're not that kind of guy.
I'm just not that kind of guy. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, awesome. So how long so you're playing that, so to recap again, you said so you're the bass player, TB player
Yep.
for the band, the bass player, and then singing some as well. As well as then you said doing some booking and some of the management side too, huh?
I call it marketing.
Marketing side, cool.
Management, but yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Now, how long have you been with Chi-Town Transit Authority since the inception?
No, I'm fairly recent member. I've been with the band for 2 years.
Okay, so how long has Chi-Town been a band?
So the band's been together for about 6 years.
Wow.
So there were four kind of core members that started out in whatever was the 2017, and then the other four members were an eight piece group. It took a little while to settle, but I think we've got the 18 now. So we're good to
Nice.
go.
Nice. Now, do you all live in the Marietta area or just around different parts of Atlanta and then like meet up?
Well, wouldn't that be convenient? No. No, we have this huge arc over the north, mostly North Atlanta, from Woodstock, Marietta, Lilburn to Athens and down to Madison. So yeah, we're not close to each other. So we try not to practice too much.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's important. That's why you just stay so tight all the time.
Yeah, we'd rather play out than practice.
There you go. That's then just work out any kinks you have. But I'm sure you guys. You play out enough on a regular, and it's right there.
Yeah.
And especially you get a nice set list together that you feel good about, and you guys get in, and it's just it all clicks in.
We do. We have a set list that really works. It's well designed. It pulls you in and then kind of builds up, and there's a big crescendo at the end.
That's awesome.
Works really well.
All right. Well. All right. We're gonna take a quick break, John, and then we'll be right back. Everyone, stick with us. Know the scene. We're coming right back with John Seckman from Chicago, the Chi-Town Transit Authority.
Keep it right here. Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, continued clearing as we head into our Tuesday evening. Clear skies tonight and getting cold. Our first of two Arctic blasts on the way this week. Temperatures will drop down into the mid-teens.
Great job, John. We'll be back from break in just a little bit. I'll give you about 2 minutes before we're back. Thank you.
Of the 30s by tomorrow afternoon. Warming up a bit into the 40s Thursday and Friday, but another blast of Arctic air on the way. Teens and 30s on the way this weekend.
John, can you hear me?
Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase
Oh,
Myers.
cool. All right. So easy peasy.
Here's your
Yes.
WSIC.
We're just hanging out. When we come back in now, I'll probably dig into a little bit more like about you personally, like just like You said you spent your whole life in Atlanta. So like what, where are you from originally from there? And what was, when you're growing up, what, what'd you listen to? What inspired you to get involved in music, arts, stuff like that?
Okay.
And we'll kind of we'll just run it from there.
Okay.
Rocky Lynn. Is that, Bill, is that Justin's wife that does all the, that is her? Oh, nice. So he doesn't have to pay that talent, huh?
In different ways, I guess.
Friday, January 19th. Love country music? The Hitmen of Country have toured and recorded with some of the country's greatest artists, like Keith Urban, Trace Adkins, Travis Tritt, and Jason Aldean. For more information, go to visitmooresville.com. That's visitmooresville.com. Birkdale on
About a
Ice
minute.
is still going on through January 28th. Time to lace up your skates and hit the ice. To make sure you can skate when you want, we recommend you making a reservation. For skate session info, including times and pricing, visit birkdalevillage.com. Want to attend the Greater Charlotte Home and Landscape Show? How about the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show? Throughout the day, you have your chance to win tickets. Listen each day to Good Morning LKN, the Home Ad Show, the News Drive at 5, and the Scoreboard. Each show gives you your chance to win. The Greater Charlotte Home and Garden Show, February 23rd.
All right, gentlemen, 30 seconds.
The Charlotte
All
Home
right.
January 26th through the
We'll start on the music.
Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events.
John, you got
to
my
submit
suit
your
today. I don't
event
normally wear a
today.
suit. I dressed up
Now,
nice for you.
back to Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Yeah.
Suit up too.
So I'm going to let this play out. All right, Know the Scene. Welcome back, everybody. If you were watching, I do this like Muppets dance. I look like a Muppets character. The kids nowadays don't get that. Bill, I can say that now. It's unfortunate. I don't think the kids now. My daughter doesn't even actually. So like my daughter hasn't even seen Sesame Street. Yeah, my wife won't let us play it in the house because she is afraid of Snuffleupagus. And so no Sesame Street in my house. But and we do watch Muppets Christmas Carol every year. That is a Christmas tradition of ours. So my daughter does know those Muppets. I mean, from the Muppets Christmas Carol, but not like we did when we were growing up. All right, well, welcome back. Welcome back to Know the Scene, everyone. Justin Dionne here with our great guest, John Seckman, from the bass player and more, from Chi-Town Transit Authority, coming to play Cain Center for the Arts on February the 3rd. Yes, we are talking about February already because that's how it goes. That's how it goes. It'll be here before you know it. A few notes before we get started. Thanks for listening today, everybody. By the way, you're listening to WSIC here. And if you'd like to call today and have a question for John or something to say or anything, you can call Bill at 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. And we can chat. Also, please make sure to, after the show, pull out your phone and go to your podcast app, whatever you use, if it's Spotify or it may be Apple Podcasts, and search WSIC Know the Scene. And with that, you can subscribe to the podcast version of this. So after we do the live show every time it airs, it goes on the podcast app and you can listen to it after the fact. So if you miss an episode, you can listen. And we've had a lot of great guests. This is the first season of Know the Scene. The first season, as if there might be a second. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And you can listen to all the great shows we've had. We've had some wonderful guests with some wonderful conversations. So really cool things to listen to there. Well, let's get back to John. John, let's take it back if we can. Before you became the all-star bass player and more for Chi-Town Transit Authority, Where you said you spent your whole life in the Atlanta area, so tell us more. Where I mean, where are you like from in Atlanta originally? Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
I'm from an area called, well, it was originally Spring Lake, but it's, I guess you'd call it, but if you were a realtor, you'd call it Buckhead because that would.
I've heard of Buckhead.
Yeah, that's the affluent.
Is the Buckhead thing just like, is it like that area of town that just keeps spreading wider and wider and wider to help with, as property values and things happen?
Yeah, exactly. Very, yeah.
So you were from Buckhead before it was Buckhead.
We were from Buckhead before it was cool. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, awesome. And so you grew up in that area. Did you grow up around as you were growing up, was your family very musical, or did you spend a lot of time around music? How did you get bit by the music bug?
Mom was into drama, and she had a couple of parts with the Atlanta Players. Dad couldn't hold a tune. But it was really my grandmother. She was a concert pianist, and so I started lessons with her from the age of 6. But she wanted to teach me music theory and basics, and I just wanted to play the piano. So I decided that she wasn't the teacher I was looking for. Yeah.
Because she wanted to teach you like the core, and you wanted to learn like Billy Joel.
Yeah, exactly. Let's tell me more about this boogie woogie thing. So I only took from her, which was a real shame because she was with the Chicago Symphony for a while.
Wow.
So she kind of knew her stuff.
Well, yeah. Wait a minute. That's important. That's an important part of the story. So your grandmother played in the Atlanta Symphony.
In the Atlanta and the Chicago Symphony.
Wow.
Yeah. So
a concert pianist.
Yes, she was.
Wow. That's a big deal. And she was not up to the par to teach you as you
no,
saw
I was
fit.
pretty smart as a 6-year-old. So I had some different ideas, and they just didn't mesh with her. So,
That's okay. That's okay. Differences.
Yeah, it's a real opportunity.
Different pass. Different, yeah. Yeah. But that's cool. So she definitely still had some good influence on you, as you were growing up. Even though sometimes, I guess, we find people along our way that maybe were teachers or people like that who we may have disagreed with what they wanted us to do, but they still had that way of influencing us, right?
Yes, and I came back and did let her teach me some basics.
There you go.
Later on, when I was ready.
So piano was your first instrument?
It was.
Do you still play now?
No, not really. Around about 8th grade, I was on a trampoline and broke my leg, and the guy who helped me break my leg came over a couple days later with a 100% plastic Sears guitar. And it was all plastic. The frets were plastic. The neck was plastic, and said, "Here, you've got some time now. Learn how to play this, and when you're up and around, we'll form a band."
Nice. What a guy.
Yeah. Wow. Great idea. The chicks will dig it.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that was the plan, and it went along pretty well.
And you said that was like around middle school-ish?
Yeah, that was 8th grade.
8th grade.
So by 9th grade, we were fairly proficient, and we could do the 3-chord songs and so forth.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're on guitar, and were you singing too?
Yeah, because there was nobody else that would do it. So
I like this. I'm finding a theme here, John, in how this is working. I feel like so you're singing and playing guitar, and then and you guys were like a 3-piece.
3-4-piece, kind of depended on who was over at the time. It wasn't a very stable lineup. We'd have You'll laugh. At one point, we had 2 bass players. Now, why
did you?
There's no reason.
Well, I got to give you a lot of credit because as I used to have bands when I was younger and stuff, and everyone knows it's hard enough to find one. So the fact that you had 2 bass players is actually kind of impressive.
Yes, we were bass rich, but only because, like, hey, he's my friend and plays bass, so I want him in the band. And then somebody else was like, well, he plays bass, and he's my friend, so I want him in the band. So that's how we had 2 bass players.
But you were playing guitar.
I was playing guitar, yeah.
But now you are a bassist.
I am.
When did you switch?
Well, it was another one of those. Hey, we've got 2 guitar players, but we need a bass player. So what? The Paul McCartney thing. Like,
yep.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You have to do it. So that's I indirectly volunteered.
And when did that? So tell me about real quick because I'll get back to the bass in a minute. But so as you're a kid and your friend brings over the friend who breaks your leg, brings you over the cheap Sears guitar, which doesn't match the story we heard from Rocky last week, who said he went to Sears and got a guitar and it was a nice one. And I'm like, I'm still skeptical of that. But so you learn guitar and at some point, obviously you're still playing to this day. And you've switched to bass. So, but in those early years, like, what was your approach to learning the guitar and learning the instrument? Did you teach yourself? Did you use tab? Did you go by ear? What was your approach to learning that?
Well, there's so many tools today, and you could just run up to the internet and grab some tab and make your way through that. But I may date myself, but my method for learning a song was to take the tone arm of the record player and to put it down on the song and listen to a little bit and then try to play it by ear. Yeah.
And just memorize it. So at some point did your parents or anyone put you in any kind of lessons or anything like that for guitar?
I had lessons for a little bit. I had about six months to a year of lessons with this one gentleman, and then another little spate of lessons with another guy. But I was just again they kind of wanted to teach me this music stuff, and I just wanted to play songs.
So, but that's okay. That's a method too. I mean, like that's what when I had my garage band in high school and stuff, right? We just learned the songs for the bands we wanted to play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are the songs you're listening to and the songs you want to play, and let's just learn those.
Right.
And I think that ties into. I think that's a cool story that will tie into. I think how, you've found yourself now in this tribute band that's playing other people's songs. Too, but I think that there is a discipline and a real interesting artistry to that I'd like to talk more about after the break. We're going to head to another break. We'll be right back, everybody, with John Seckman. Stay on. Know the Scene will be right back.
There's more Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hey, Bill. I appreciate you having the music of the band teed up for the runouts.
No problem.
I think that's
Happy
super
to
cool.
do it.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, it helps when I like the music. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you coming? Are you gonna come to?
February 3rd.
Have you come to a show yet?
Yeah. I went to.
Which one did you come to?
I came to Cain and Cox, and
that was a good one.
Yes, it was. Yeah, he actually wound up performing at the O's game.
That's right.
Yeah, later that year. And I was like,
were you there?
no, I'm a huge O's fan, but
that's cool.
My girlfriend's parents went to that game.
Oh, how neat. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool. That's cool
Yeah.
tie-in.
Really weird, yeah.
John, everything going all right so far?
Yeah, loving it. Great.
Awesome. Sorry, we'll get there, I promise. I'm timing it all out. We got two more segments, man. We got 2 more segments. I always like start with the beginning, and then we're gonna dig in a little bit more, and we'll start talking about other stuff too.
You know, John, I just moved up here from Atlanta.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep. I was in the West Midtown area for a little bit, but before then, I lived right by Truist Park, right? The baseball stadium or baseball.
You would not be
complex.
Very far from where I am now. We're only about 10-15 minutes from Truist.
Right. That's it.
I have not spent a lot of time in Atlanta at all. I need to spend more time in Atlanta. I just haven't really had.
I think my favorite joke about Atlanta is an hour away from Atlanta.
Exactly.
Yep. Very true.
I just know everyone talks about Charlotte and how it's growing, and they're like, it's going to be the next Atlanta.
It certainly will be.
Like
I'm
freaking
seeing a
out
lot
about
of the same restaurants pop up.
Oh, yeah? That's I kind of use it as an example sometimes with us because, like, we're John, we're a suburb of Charlotte, basically. We're 20 minutes north. So we're probably, what's the suburb 20 minutes north of Atlanta? Is Alpharetta 20 minutes?
On a good day.
Yeah.
If you're driving like an Atlanta driver.
Yeah. Roswell might be 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know their suburbs well enough. I just remember Alpharetta one night it was a long time, 2009. I spent like a week in Atlanta on a tour.
It's a good time. A lot of good spots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. About 25 seconds, gentlemen.
25. Thank you, 25.
Oh, I lied.
Nope.
Sorry, it was a hidden commercial in there.
Oh, a hidden one.
Yep.
It's cold here. Is it cold down there right now, John?
Yeah, pretty frosty.
chilly. Yeah. It's really chilly for us too right now. They're supposed to be in the teens tonight, Bill. Yeah. Did you see that Beach Mountain just had like a top 10 snow for them yesterday?
Really?
Yeah, like a top 10 ever in Beach Mountain yesterday.
I feel like we're
last night, like 14 inches.
Charlotte's in like a drought, the longest drought it's ever had from snow.
Yeah.
All right, 20 seconds, no joke. Have fun, guys.
The joys of pregnancy.
No
To
jokes.
the illnesses that stop you in your tracks. Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Call now to speak with Justin Dionne at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Know the Scene on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
That thing's working.
Local starts here.
All right, welcome back to Know the Scene. If you hear those horns, you're here in Chicago. And coming up in February, on February 3rd, you're not gonna see Chicago, but you're gonna see the next best thing, which is Chi-Town Transit Authority, Chicago tribute band coming to Cain Center for the Arts. Really fantastic group. Those horns you heard, they sound just like that, just like what you just heard. Full horn section, everything. I've seen them live myself. Take it from me, fantastic show. Still some tickets left, although they're starting to get a little sparse. So grab those tickets to Chi-Town Transit Authority, Cain Center for the Arts. We're talking today with John Seckman, who is the bass player, TB player. I always like that. Did you guys ever see That Thing You Do? The movie That Thing You Do? No, it's a classic. Tom Hanks, like the first movie he directed. It's about this one-hit wonders band in like the 50s, 60s era. He made it up, but it's a great movie. And throughout the whole movie, the bass player of the band, they never like say his name. He's just known as the bass player. And literally, even in the credits, they credit him as TB player. TB player. It's great. I love it. It's like he joked. He said, John, I think John gets it. So, all right. Well, welcome back, John. We're having some great conversation. So we were talking right before the break about, your experience of not liking music instruction and liking and enjoying playing other people's songs to teach yourself music. which
Right.
I think is a perfectly valid method.
Thank you.
No, I mean, well, seriously, right? Like, there are a lot of folks listening that may play instruments or have kids that want to play an instrument that go, oh my gosh, I don't want to do lessons. I don't want to. You don't have to. You can just, and nowadays, like you said, gosh, get to, pull up the computer, pull up the tablature. That's how I learned. I learned off tab.
Oh, and there's YouTube University, which can teach you
Right.
whatever you want to know about whatever you're interested in,
Right.
and show it to you. Like, here's how you play it. I
Right.
took a video of it. Yeah, great tools.
That's
great
right.
stuff.
Now, that's not the same thing against music schools because, we do love Learn Music, great local school here in Cornelius. We also have a couple we have a School of Rock here and I think a Bach to Rock in Huntersville as well. So we've got some schools you can check out for those kind of things too. But don't feel like you have to. Just play. Just play.
If that's what it takes for you to get into it, then approach it that way. You'll need to catch up with the basics just so you can talk to other musicians, so you can understand what you're doing. And I'm kind of kidding around about being, not wanting to do music theory first, because it is important that you know the basics and you understand what you're doing. So
yes, of course. But just playing, and when I was growing up too, just playing, as you mentioned, like you'll find yourselves in situations if you get out there and play that you'll run into other musicians, right? And then you'll learn from watching and listening to what those other musicians do. And maybe to your point, John, yeah, there might be a little point where you find yourself with a little bit of peer pressure, like you're in the room and you're like, ooh, I am in over my head. And then you like go home and that motivates you to, go home and learn some of that stuff so that next time you go back with that group of musicians, you can hold your own type thing.
right, like what is, they were talking about a tritone. What is a tritone?
Right.
I'll go back and research that and won't miss that again.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. As part of the fun of music, is again, playing music with people. It's a community thing, right? And it's a relationships thing with others too. So all right. So when we were talking, you had some bands like garage band type stuff, I guess. And when you were younger in like middle and high school era, you had two bass players. You were bass player rich, which is still crazy to me because I'm serious. Like no one played bass. It was always a guitar player that you suckered into playing bass. Is how many of the bands that I knew got their bass player. Normally, right?
Yeah.
At least when you're younger, especially, right? Because everyone plays guitar, but no one like purposely played the bass.
Right.
And I ended up playing bass a couple times in a few bands because they just needed a bass player. So that being said, did you continue playing music as you got into like college age and stuff like that? Did you have bands when you were that age as well, or did you kind of take a break? What happened?
No, absolutely. I had my college band, and we would play bars and fraternity parties.
Nice.
And then eventually I got into a touring group.
Oh, right.
And then marriage and kids happened.
Where's the bump, bump, ba bum? Where's the Bill? My sound effects aren't working. Oh, marriage and kids. That's what happened to me too. I used to play in bands literally up until like even after I got married. But once the kid came along, I'm like, maybe I'll play. Like my daughter just gave me crap the other day. My 5-year-old daughter was like, Daddy, you should play your guitar more. And I was like, ooh, that hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts. But well, cool. So what was your touring band? Did you guys play covers, originals, a little bit of both? What kind of stuff did you guys do?
Yeah, it was covers, party band.
Nice. It's always fun. What were some of the? So tell us all too, because I want to get toward how you got into. Have you always been a Chicago fan? Obviously, must have been.
I have been. With a lot of music, you can associate, where you were when you were listening to this song, but it's very rare for me that I remember where I was when I first heard the song, like the very first time I heard the song. The one exception would be my neighbor called me up and said, you've got to listen to this song. And I said, I have to walk over and listen to this song? And he said, yes, you have to walk over and listen to the song. And he met me at the bottom of the driveway, and we go in. It was on a tape. It was on reel-to-reel tape, and it was 25 or 64, and I was just blown away. I remember that moment, and I was like, "This is incredible. I need to get an album of this." And so I went out and bought Chicago 5 because that was the album that was out in '72. So I started with Chicago 5 and then kind of worked backwards, and then once I digested all that, went forward. But that was my introduction to Chicago. It was stunning.
Did you now were any of
horns, like how cool is that?
Right. Well, when you were playing in some of your party bands and stuff, did you play any Chicago then?
No, not at all. We didn't have any horn.
I was going to say, I was kind of getting to is if you had horns, because that's like the toughest thing to find.
Yeah, we were lucky if we had a keyboard player that could. Yeah. So
who else? Yeah. So tell me some of your big. Who were some of your favorite artists? Like when you talked about that. I love how you just described your Chicago experience of discovering Chicago at this one song, and then you get that album, and then you go backwards, and then you went back to forward and moved back from there. I actually, when I was younger, had the same experience with Aerosmith. I first got into like Aerosmith, Get a Grip record, because when I was growing up, it was like Amazing and Crying and Crazy and all the. Yeah, I mean, like. And that shows my age. Like those were the music videos when I was growing up. And so I got into those. And then one day, like my dad's like listening to Walk This Way. And I'm like, who's this? He's like, that's Aerosmith. And I'm like, wait. The same ones who did Crying and stuff? He's like, yeah. So then I go backwards all the way down through like Permanent Vacation, like go back right all the way down. And then I get to like 9 Lives and go forward from there. But so tell me some of the other bands that were big like influences for you, like when you were coming up.
Oh, well, I was a big Aerosmith fan too.
Oh yeah, nice.
My entry point was Toys in the Attic though. So
but that's such a great one, man.
Oh, it's
so good.
So good. Big Zeppelin fan for a while. One of my friends took me to a Queen show. I didn't know.
You saw Queen?
Yeah, I
cool.
saw the not News of the World, Night at the Opera. So the one with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wow.
I was not familiar with any of that. So my first introduction to Queen was seeing this album live.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yes.
What an experience that must have been.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. And that's like back when like you could see concerts for like $20.
Oh, I was again, I'm going to date myself, but I think I paid $7.50 for that show.
Inflation.
Yeah.
People are paying more than that to see you play, buddy.
Yeah. Well, everything's gone up.
Of course. That's awesome. Well, that's awesome. I love this. I love this conversation about all these classic ads, because it all comes together into who you are, and especially like your approach to music and what you've enjoyed and how and to your point from earlier about playing other people's songs, I'm sure that playing some of these acts was tied into your journey. So we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do a major like fast forward. We're going to talk about Chi-Town Tribute, how you guys got together, your role, the kind of set, how it's going to go with the show when you guys come, all right?
Okay.
Come back after the break, guys. Know the scene.
There's more Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
We'll continue clearing as we head into our Tuesday.
About 2.5 minutes.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we got to make sure to put the towels down on the floor for the horn section.
You know it.
You slip on the way out if you're not careful. How many kids you have?
I have 3.
Wow, that's a lot. I have 1, and that's plenty. Are they all like in school somewhere, or are they out? You're not old enough to be a grandpa yet.
No, trying to get there, but Jay, my oldest son has graduated, and my youngest son is at University of Alabama having a great time.
Boo. So I'm a Florida State fan.
Okay.
Now, did you study music in college at all?
No, not at all. I studied architecture.
Oh, you're an architect.
Well, that's what I studied. Who does what they actual study in school? Like
I
nobody.
did. I kind of did.
Yeah.
I was a theater major, and I'm actually running an arts organization.
Yeah.
But I'm like
Okay.
one of few. I'm one of few. There's not a lot of us out there that get to do that.
Right.
So what do you, wait? So what do you do now?
I got into software and did software for 2.5 decades.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Like software
Yeah,
engineer or
totally self-taught. I would go to the bookstore and just kind of
1 minute.
read books.
oh, that's cool. So you're a software engineer? Would that be the correct?
I was. I did software programming for a while, and then became a project manager, and then a product manager.
Oh, and that's what you do now.
That's what I did when I took a sabbatical for a year, which is now in its 6th year.
Okay.
This guy's taught
So,
himself
so
everything.
the band is your job right now.
It is.
You're a
yeah.
professional musician.
I am.
You've now
it took a while
transferred.
to get used to saying that, but
That's awesome, though. All right, we're going to talk
20
about
seconds.
that. We're going to talk about that. That's an important point. We're going to move quickly in this next one. Sorry.
okay.
I won't get distracted as much, I promise.
Submit your event today.
Feels like not true.
Know the
Sorry, it used to be
Scene
a podcast.
continues. Here's your host, Cain Center for the
Not
Arts
enough time.
Executive Director Justin Dionne on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
There we go. Yes. All right, we're back. Know the scene. Know the scene. Justin Dionne here. Last segment today, talking with John Seckman, bass player et al. from Chi-Town Transit Authority, coming to Cain Center for the Arts, February 3rd. Get those tickets. By the way, again, if you can call in if you'd like, 844-788-3464, talking with John. John, we're going to move quickly through this last segment because we were talking during the break and I had a big aha moment that I should have known from the beginning, so I apologize. But, so to revisit, you did not go to school for music. You went to school for architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
But you kept playing while you were in
Yep.
school in your party bands and such.
As
And then you said that you then went on to a long career in technology, in
Yeah.
software
development.
Software development. You said 20 years you were in software development.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And self-taught again.
Self-taught again. I just picked it up.
That's amazing. So did you keep playing in bands during that time too?
Yeah. You know, this was during the kids are more manageable years. So
When does that happen?
It does happen.
Just taking notes.
Yeah. After they get past the little bitty stage, they take less time but more
Patience?
more. I'm sorry.
More patience?
Yeah, that too. More planning. Anyway.
So you were still playing in some bands, and now you are important. So that's what I wanted to get to. Now you're a fully professional musician.
Yeah, I took a sabbatical. It was originally supposed to be a year to do, as the kids went to college, to do some of the stuff that I didn't get to do for the last 20 years. And one of my goals was to record an album. And so being in the studio that much and that often really improved my musicianship. I'd recommend recording to anybody who's trying to get better. And at the same time, I'm kind of trying out some new and better bands. And I had a profile out on Bandmix, which is kind of a dating site for bands and musicians.
Oh.
It's, you know, putting the two together.
Oh.
And I had mentioned that one of my influences was Chicago, and Chi-Town saw that, picked up on it, and that's how they found me.
Oh, so you got picked up.
Yeah, I was discovered.
You got catfished. Man, he got caught. I like it. That's awesome. They found you. What a cool. That's cool. So your bass playing, by the way. So your bass playing journey. So you switched to bass while you were, you know, when you were playing, and you said you were in a band with two guitars and you needed to have somebody to play bass, and you ended up doing the Beatles thing. And then so did you just at that point, did you through all your bands, through college, and even when you were playing later before you started doing your studio work, did you just play bass, or did you still play guitar as well?
I haven't picked up to the guitar in a long time. I played bass for about 3 years in one of those college time, right around the college years bands, and then switched back to guitar. I played rhythm guitar and keyboards for a long time, and then it's funny. I was trying out for a wedding band, and they needed a bass player, so I kind of picked up the bass again. And so I had actually I'd gotten some months in on the bass before Chi-Town called me, which was a really good thing. Otherwise, I might have had a little difficulty making them believe that I was a bass player.
So what was it about? And I think I know, but tell everybody who's listening, what is it about the studio work that you said really helped sharpen your playing?
I guess it's really just the playback, and you hear everything, and you can isolate everything, and instead of just having a noisy room full of music, you really get to understand what you're doing and how it's relating to everything else that's going down on the tracks that are being recorded. So,
and the maybe some of the repetition as well.
We try not to be repetitive.
Well, but I mean, like the takes, like if you have to, nope, gotta take that again, like do that again.
Oh yeah. There's one guitar lead that I think I did 106 takes on before I got something I liked.
Yeah, I'm always, when it comes to things, especially like artistic things, I'm actually a big, my background's more in the theater side, although I was a musician as well. But that's where, like, in my mind, practice is a lot of times it's just repetition too. It's getting those reps in that helps you just get smoother, get clearer, get sharper in whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and with the tools, like you can see how pitchy you are vocal wise. I mean, it plots it. You can, okay, I'm on pitch here, I'm not on pitch here, and just listening to that and seeing what you're doing is extremely helpful as well.
Yeah. Wow. So Chi-Town Tribute, you guys are a full Chicago tribute band. And you said they've been around since 2017, I think you said, right?
Yeah, they've been playing for 6 years.
And
so
now, and you've been with them too.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So how often are you guys out there hitting the circuit?
Well, my first year we played 23 shows. Last year we were 41.
Wow.
We've already got 43 in the books for this year. So
wow.
I bet we'll play 60 shows this year.
That's a lot. Wow.
And going from just playing the Southeast to adding the Northeast and hopefully the Midwest this year. So getting the word out, getting a little bit bigger as a band.
That's good. Do you enjoy that? Are you getting to enjoy that right now? Is it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
When you guys travel, depending on the leg of the tour that you guys are doing, you know, are you guys renting a van? Are you driving all separate? Are you renting a U-Haul? Do you have a bus? What are you guys doing?
We have two minivans, and then we'll take a car or two as well, kind of depending on the distance. The longer it gets, the more we try to cram into the minivans. But
right,
that's how we do it.
I love it. I love you know, I mean, just like the journey of and this season that you're in right now of life, where you're like, nah, man, we're on the band, we're in the band, we're hitting the road, like we're hitting the road, we're going.
Yeah, man.
It's the dream.
And with these musicians who have been playing all their life, there are just endless stories.
Yeah, tell us about some of the other guys in the band.
Playing with, like Neil. We kind of had this game with Neil, the trombone player. You think of a celebrity, and then he tells you the story about when he met them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has played with everybody. Trumpet player, drummer too.
So are the other musicians in the band kind of like they've been session musicians before too? They've been in the same circuits. Kind of. I mean, they're all had the same experiences as you, or just a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. You know, Neil was in the army band. Chris was with the Columbia touring group. Michael's just toured Europe and America for years.
Wow.
Chase has been all over the country, and Jinx, our saxophonist, has been with a touring group for 10 years. He's also a band leader.
Wow.
Rick has been a band leader in DeKalb and Gwinnett County here in Atlanta. So just a wide variety of musical experiences.
That's amazing. So tell us all what kind of things can they expect from a Chi-Town Transit Authority show?
So I guess the biggest question is which era of Chicago, because Chicago had some pretty different eras in their musical musical journey, and so a frequent question is, well, which era do you play from?
Oh yeah,
we play from all 4 decades.
Wow.
You know, Chicago put out their first album in the '60s, had a bunch of hits with kind of in the Terry Kath era during the '70s, and more power ballad type stuff in the '80s, some of which, 80s, some of which made it into the '90s. So it's
wow.
4 decades.
Do you guys tend to like have a show and run the same set list and the same show, or do you like switch it up a little bit every time?
It's pretty consistent from show to show. It kind of evolves, and we've added some new stuff over the years. We'll shift some songs in and out, but you know, largely from show to show, it'll be pretty consistent. That's
great. Well, awesome. Well, and then so we're looking forward to having you guys again. Chi-Town Transit Authority coming to Cain Center for the Arts on February the 3rd. So get those tickets, cainarts.org, cainarts.org. John, thank you so much for coming on Know the Scene today. Really great chatting with you. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Hey, thanks, Justin.
All right.
Pleasure.
All right. Get your rehearsal in. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Don't you know?
All right. Thanks. We'll see you soon, John. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you next week on Know the Scene.